Hello and welcome to part 1 of 3 of my Brazil travel vlogs. In this little series I explore a good portion of what Brazil has to offer. I spent a month in Brazil travelling to a few different locations between the north and the south, and I'm here to give you some ideas of what to do as well as some tips along the way. In part 1 I start off very briefly in Sao Paulo, a little south of Brazil, before jetting up north for New Year's, where it's a drastic change. Hello and welcome to Brazil. We're staying in an area called Echo de Batman, or Batman's Alley. It's a very cool kind of alternative kind of graffiti kind of vibe to it. Very arty, and loads of tourists and locals here, and there's people queuing up for all kinds of pictures with the actual designs on the walls. My place that I'm staying in, we're kind of overlooking the main little bit. It's pretty nice around here. There's lots of stalls of, you know, people selling their own kind of merchandise, you know, jewellery to crafts, you know, the normal kind of thing. We came here just because flights were a bit cheaper, but we're planning on going to Fortaleza and then transferring to Jericoacoara. The north of Sao Paulo, beaches everywhere and very beautiful ones. You know, that's more my style. So coming to Sao Paulo, it's just a big city. It's just like where I'm from, London. So I feel like I haven't really relaxed yet, and I want those kind of beach vibes and just relaxation, the whole laid back kind of style. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that I've come across so far is although that they speak Portuguese here in Brazil, I thought that because I'm learning Spanish, I thought that I might be able to get by a little bit, but quite a few of people, you know, girls and that speaking to, that they either don't know Spanish or there's quite a lot of people that don't know English. I'm surprised that they don't. You know, I've been to other Portuguese and Spanish countries, and you know, some of them know English or broken English, like they can, you know, you can get by in a little conversation, but some people don't know anything. We were at a club last night and oh yeah, it was good. Yeah, I just have like a communication barrier. Like I can't talk to some people because I go, you know, speak English? No? Right, okay, where do I go from here? It's really weird. Never really had that before. We visited some quirky restaurant that does great food, but also features a bus sitting at the front. Eagle-eyed viewers may recognise this from somewhere. It's a replica of the bus that the infamous traveller Chris McCandless, or Alexander Supertramp, stayed in on his travels. And as a big fan of the movie Into the Wild, based on The Traveller, I loved seeing this. I have no idea what it's doing here in this restaurant, but it was really cool to see. That evening we took our flight to Fortaleza, and instead of staying the night there, we just decided to ask around on who could drive us to Jericoacoara. Well, when I say we, I mean my friend. He's the one that can speak Portuguese, because no one can speak English in Brazil, so yeah, he had to do all the work for me. Because if we left it another night to drive to this beautiful location for New Year's, it would have been either very expensive or just impossible to drive at such short notice. So we took the drive-in early route through the night, found some man to drive us, which is around a 4-hour journey, which was a bit concerning at first. I didn't really wish to sleep for a safety precaution, but you know, it was all fine in the end. Upon reaching the location, you must be prepared for how bumpy the route is. Jericoacoara is amongst the sand dunes location, so there are no roads. It's completely off-road, so you will need a 4x4. It was certainly not a pleasant experience, like a never-ending roller coaster. It also didn't help that you can't see anything in front of you. Literally nothing. It's pitch black. We've arrived after a very bumpy ride, 4.5 hours later. The time is now 3:45 in the morning, and we are just walking around lots of hotels and hostels trying to find a place to stay. The place is pretty much a ghost town. There's not really much going on. Yeah, we're just wandering around accommodation by accommodation, building by building, trying to find somewhere, and everything is full. I really need to get some sleep. But I tell you what, I think it would be a nice place in the daytime once we actually find somewhere. I can see us just sleeping on the beach at this rate. But nonetheless, we found a place, and the next morning we took a stroll around town, and I was instantly in delight of the surroundings here. It literally is a beach town. Loads of bars, clubs, shops and restaurants, all built on this sandy, picturesque location. It's supposed to be one of the top 10 most beautiful beaches in the world. It's a shame it wasn't sunny here, which annoyingly it's supposed to always be, but it didn't matter as it was a drastic change from the bustling city of Sao Paulo. And it was going to be the perfect place to celebrate New Year's. I love this place you can rent overlooking parties below, where your back roof terrace features a built-in pool. Very nice. The clouds decided to depart, so we went on a little adventure to a nearby attraction. And in the daytime you can really see how amazing this place is. You couldn't see anything at night, but in the day, wow. Sand dunes just everywhere that are so big and wide. It literally feels like you're driving through the desert. It's just constant sand everywhere. You can have the option to rent buggies and drive over these, but they can be a bit expensive. We then made it to our destination, Buraco Azul. It's pretty much a random lagoon near a town that is quite a tourist hotspot. It's a huge pool that is very warm and relaxing, and with all-round sun in all directions. It really is just heaven. You will need a vehicle to get here, and it costs a few Brazilian reals for entry, or pounds, dollars, euros, whatever currency you use. And then you can just relax away to your heart's content in this peaceful, tranquil and just pure sublime location. It even features hammocks if it wasn't relaxing enough. The water is of a milky resemblance, I think coming from the rocks and stone it's housed in, like a limestone sort of resemblance. But you can see from these images, it's just in the middle of nowhere. And I had certainly never heard of this place, so if my friend didn't mention it, I would never have known. It's just greenery in all directions. Then in the middle is this random hole of water. It's very peculiar. I wonder how long this has been here for and how it even came to be. Also, whether the case it's man-made or made by nature. All these questions over such a stunning place. I just wanted to stay here forever. Unfortunately, we couldn't stay forever as we had to head back to make preparations for New Year's. And New Year's is a big thing in Brazil and they like to party hard. And the daytime scenery completely changes at night. The beach where you do, beach things, transforms into outdoor bars where loads of pop-up drink bars and clubs appear and hundreds of people just surround you. It's a lot of fun and so easy to meet people here. For New Year's, it's tradition to wear white, which brings good luck. If you wondered why a lot of people were wearing white. Whoa, there's a lot of we're wearing white. Anyway, the cheapest and very strong drink, caipirinha, was my drink of choice to have, which I lived on out there. It's a typical Brazilian drink. But we certainly danced the night away, met loads of interesting people, and definitely celebrated New Year's in style. Oh yeah. Why are you winking? I don't know. We have made it to one of the dunes, sand dunes. We're going to try and walk up one of these bad boys. Let's see how steep this is. And they are pretty much steep. It really feels like you are amongst the Sahara Desert. It's a strange feeling. Here's like the main beach of Jericoacoara. Then the other side is like you're in the Sahara Desert where it's just sand dunes just everywhere. I'm not really liking this black cloud that's appearing. My flip-flops and shorts here. Been a little bit upset with the weather. It's been a bit cloudy when supposedly here it's meant to be always sunny. I'm not really quite sure why. Very bad luck, I think. The wind is picking up. Rain, I think, is on the way. Let's see how steep it is. I know it doesn't look it, but this was a very steep drop. Not really liking this cloud that's coming over. And then minutes later, the heavens opened and a downpour occurred. And within seconds, water baths started popping up out of nowhere. It's a bit hard to see it on camera, but they were certainly there. And with not much shelter anywhere, you just have to run to the nearest thing and just wait for it to pass. The next day we went to Paradise Lagoon, and a paradise it is indeed. No, not the half-naked men who won't get out of the way taking Instagram photos. No, this long stretch of beach with little individual beach huts overlooking this huge lagoon. And the main eye attraction here is some very Instagrammable shots indeed. Your own hammock on top of the water. It really is relaxing, just sitting on the waves while soaking up the sun. I'm not sure, however, if a lot of people have done some number ones on them though, if you get what I mean. Number ones. Number ones? What do you mean? I'm talking about we. I don't know, I didn't. Talking of Instagram, here's my little cheeky one. You can see in this shot that it is quite a narrow beach, but it does stretch all the way round. Not many people were here though for quite a touristy hotspot, but there's just some magnificent views here. Only 15 hammocks altogether, but surprisingly it wasn't too busy to get one. There was never any queues, which is quite surprising, as just looking at these things of beauties, you'd want to lay here all day. And this brings us to the end of part 1 of my Brazil adventure. One piece of advice for Jericoacoara: it's still technically very new and upcoming. I don't think there are any ATMs or banks, so be sure to bring cash with you, as you won't be able to draw any money out, and a few places accept cash only. So I hope you've got a little inkling of what Brazil is like so far, and hopefully join me next time for part 2, where I'll be heading a little bit more south to Salvador, then back to Sao Paulo again. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, bye!